Welcome back to the OPL for Headspace Round. We just saw Chiefs Esports Club pick up a game victory over Sin.
You were about to call it early.
I was about to call it real early. Spawn, Agem.
That's your prediction. I tried to get it before and you didn't want to give it to me.
Freudian slip, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's unlucky, man.
I think there was like 36 kills in that game.
Yeah, it was a bloody game.
In like 25 minutes.
Sin create bloody games. That's what they do. They just kept fighting. And kind of didn't want them to, I think, with the Azir, the Tristana scaling up nicely.
Yeah, I wanted them to actually stop doing anything and just let their carries get 3 or 4 items. But in the end, they just keep throwing themselves bodily at the enemy team. And I think that, I mean, the Chiefs team comp just came online earlier.
And that's the thing. The Chiefs team comp does come online earlier, but it also falls off and it puts them on the clock. The Rise, obviously outranged by the Azir, but the big one is the Callista into the Tristana. So their carries can just be so safe on the lineup of Sin in these late game team fights. So every time Chiefs went for a play and it kind of fizzled early, because a lot of the team fights were like Chiefs going in, looking for something, Sin get like an early pickup and look fine and they can just back away, but then they overchase into Destiny and then he gets like a big combo and turns it around. If they just didn't overchase, if Chiefs fizzle enough plays, then Sin are in control of that game, and then they can start scaling up.
And I also want to talk about draft, because when you go into a draft, as we actually do go into one here,
that's nice.
You have kind of choices. You can either ban away what's strong, or you can try and pinch a playstyle. And I feel like right now, when you give Destiny engage tools, either Rakan or Alistar, you just lose the game. I want to see Sin just take them both away.
Yep. Especially when you have a support player in Kuden who's not that aggressive. Like I feel like he can't match Destiny in that regard. So we can play something more defensive. And if you
play
Destiny
Tahm Kench versus Taric, I feel like that's a fine matchup.
If you take
for Kuden.
Destiny off like the big engage tools, the Rakan, the Ali, it makes his life infinitely harder. So see if they do opt in for that one this game.
Blue side GP ban.
Yeah.
I always hate to see it. I mean, Swiper obviously much more comfortable on the tanks.
It's a bit of a one that hurts, to be honest. You don't want to be seeing that one. GP just so incredibly strong.
Who else
not
has
willing
done
to
it so
play
far?
I'm actually trying to think.
Another team does it all the time. Tectonic? No. Paparazzi plays it.
I can't remember.
Bombers play it. Praedyth plays it. Legacy play it? Is it Avant? Maybe. Surely Pabu plays it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to ask. I can't remember. Another team does it all the time. Ezreal gang playing Zac banned away. It's going to be Zoe, Azir, Talia. So triple ban towards Ryoma, and they leave up Rise still. Very interesting pick ban here so far.
But I feel like the big thing to take away in terms of meta and in terms of draft phase was the Callista. This is the first really successful Callista game we've actually seen in the OPL. Raze, obviously with Destiny, they've looked really good together. And that's one of the biggest things. You need synergy to be able to actually pull off that pick. And then Destiny, of course, the biggest engage tool for the Chiefs. So it just kind of lines up nicely. See if Sin do want to like take it away. Ezreal is obviously banned and he's like the big answer. We've seen a lot of Callista versus Ezreal. He's the next best for the most part.
Yeah, for sure. I think Tristana does have a very okay matchup until you get one item, and then you kind of have to dodge it until 3, which is fine. I mean, you can play Tristana around that very easily. Ali, not really a Kuden champion, but potentially could be a pick away.
Yeah, they do. They just want to take it away. Xayah and Rakan is still available, though, for the Chiefs. So they picked up that first pick, Rise. Do they just lock it in straight away?
The Doorman's still up as well. You can just go Braum Callista. It does a very similar thing, except there's very little that Alistar can do about that one.
Of course, it could be matched by something like the Callista Ali. If you have like a Xayah Rakan versus Callista Ali matchup, that's incredibly volatile.
That's a 50-50,
yeah. That is literally a coin flip lane. Whoever plays it better, at about level 3, honestly, has control to level 6. And then it just gets worse and worse. But no, they don't opt into a bot lane pickup of any sort of duo.
Priority pick the jungle, given the fact that so many jungle bans were thrown towards Babib. Want to get him a comfortable pick this time around. See Fantix on your screen there. They can potentially just... this would be great. If Chiefs come out and they play Caitlyn Janna or something like that, show that versatility, show that they are more than just a fight-heavy bottom lane at the moment. I think that really does add another string to their bow and makes them a very exciting team to watch.
Yeah, absolutely here. Raze. Stylistically, traditionally when he first joined the Chiefs, his best performance was on the Caitlyn way back when, as soon as he replaced Radiant.
Formerly known as Zeratul.
Yeah.
So if you check out his stats, Ezreal Caitlyn pretty much exclusively, if you don't mind, Bryce.
Yeah. So, can be very good at that one. Been out of the meta for the most part for a long time, but now back in. Skarner will be the pickup into the Kha'Zix.
That's a beefy core so far picked up for the Sin Gaming lineup. See what they start throwing ban towards. You'd have to think it's going to be... I would take away... Oh, they take away Janna. I was going to say I would take away like Sion Horn and then just try and get the skill matchup for the Gnar. But do not decide to do that at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Pabu was saying on the couch. He wants to see more onus, more agency given to Praedyth in this matchup.
Because if he just gets creeps kicked at him,
Yeah.
It's not really going to change all that much. And I feel like there's Lulu Jana as well as Karma, if like you're going to really play shove bottom lane like heavily, Skarner's not going to really be able to get onto any of those.
I feel like it makes sense. They kind of hedge their bets if they do ban away the Scion here. I think he's a much more of a problem than the Ornn.
Okay.
But Jana is the absolute best in terms of negating an alley lane.
Yep.
Lulu, if she just gets comboed, she dies.
Yep.
Morgana, if she just gets comboed, she sort of dies as well.
Take away the time catch, so they're just very hard committing on this bottom lane support pinch.
In their bottom lane. Did play incredibly well that game. Got a lot of pressure thrown at them. I feel like for the most part got died multiple times there, but did stand toe-to-toe for the most part until the game got heavily out of control.
And Cassiopeia gets taken away from Bedoink. Definitely his best performing champion so far. That is a big mid lane pinch because they took away 3 on the side of Sin Gaming. Now another 2 and a priority pick out of the Chiefs means that 6 mid laners are denied.
Does he go for something like the Ori? Speed up available for the Skarner. Wombo available with the alley, but no, it will just be the Victor into the Rise.
Very similar kind of theory behind it. Not as much utility for the team, but much more utility for you being able to navigate around those team fights. And then just drop the base with the Skarner as he grabs someone, try and blow them up.
Drop the base, I like that
That's
one.
what I used to call the Victor ultimate because it used to like pulse.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Okay. I back it.
Yeah.
I back it. You need to get Ali in there with a cowbell, like whilst it's going. You can start
Remix.
like layering emotes on top of each other, like start making a song. I love it. I love it.
And it's going to be Morgana.
Yeah. So I'm adamant that this lane is actually good. The Caitlyn Morgana is good into the alley. It's pretty hard. We saw Jake try it yesterday, and it was real rough. They got engaged on, and as soon as you die, you lose. You hard out lose, and you can't do anything, but you win up until that point.
I will tell you why this lane isn't good.
Okay.
Because Morgana, unlike Jana, doesn't stop people getting on top of you. And gone are the days that tanks have just one way of getting on top of you. Like, it was good when Zach only could E on you. But now that he can E on you, grab you, and slam you together, now the Morgana just dies in the matchup, I feel. And same with Skarner. Like, okay, you stop the grab onto the AD carry, but all of a sudden he's hit you with the E, he's stunned you, like Alistar's following up, and Morgana dies again. I feel like it is not as safe as it used to be.
It's not as safe, but I still think it wins.
Okay.
I'm adamant this matchup wins.
In a 2v2, I agree with you.
Yeah.
In straight up 2v2, range supports always win.
Yeah. Well, that's not the case, to be honest. What we've seen, we saw Ali and Tajana. They're popping off.
No, but that was a misplay.
And that was a misplay, and that's what I think. I feel like if Destiny ever misplays in this matchup,
he dies.
Then the bottom lane just gets completely wrecked. Dream and Kuden just have so much control. As soon as the alley lane gets ahead,
I mean, headbutt towards the Caitlyn, all of a sudden Black Shield goes on her, flash pole the Morgana.
That's actually an interesting thing to say, because Leona versus Morgana. Morgana was considered one of the answers, and I was always like, Morgana negates, but she doesn't have any proactivity. It's still like Leona still has the pressure in the matchup. She can't kill anyone if you play it perfectly as the Morgana. It's a similar sort of situation, whereas Morgana is picked to negate the pick. So if you can get junglers to match and you're in a 3v3 and you have the lane priority because you have range versus melee, then you can play around it. Yep. And it's gonna be hard. And if they ever mess it up, I feel like it crumbles pretty quickly.
It swings both ways, right?
Yep,
As the alley, if you get thrown behind and all of a sudden you don't have a level 6, they've got a level 6, they just keep pushing into you, can never go in. So I do take your point. I just think that from what we've seen in the OPL, and that's all I can really go on.
Okay.
This doesn't work.
Okay.
We've seen
the stats don't lie.
we've seen multiple teams try and play it, and I feel like AV had one game with a Kate Nami, and Orta had one game with a Kate Jana.
Yep.
And then I can't remember another range versus melee matchup actually going in their favor.
Yeah.
I don't think we should use Bombers as a winning test case right now. Maybe after next game.
All right. Yeah, they face off against Tectonic later in the day. There will be the second series, but Sin looking to equalize this one right now against the Chiefs. That'll be pretty interesting, and I feel like this is what you asked for, though. You asked for the Caitlyn Jana. Oh, yeah, Chiefs bottom lane. They've shown that they can fight. Can they show some diversity? Yeah. Pick the Morgana? No! Chiefs, what have you done?
I'm just a skeptic.
You're an idiot. Oh, my God, what's going on?
If they make this work, they become a scarier team.
Yep.
I can tell you
100%.
right now, I think that teams will start looking at them and being like, okay, we can't just ban away Rakan, Alistar, force some defensive versus defensive, and then Raze plays a lot of mid-game stuff at the moment.
Because that's kind of what you expect Chiefs, like the progression to be overall, right? Like Destiny has been the main engage tool for the most part, and that's kind of what you expect to see teams time and time again banning that one away. But we are on to the Rift, Game 2, Chiefs versus Sin, and Laura standing behind Chiefs coach Fantix.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm standing here alongside Fantix. Now, the Chiefs were able to pick up game number 1, but Sin put up a good fight, especially in that early game. But what did you think about the Chiefs' performance in that first game?
Yeah, I think they just got a little lazy with their setups and stuff. So yeah, they made a couple of mistakes, which kind of slowed down the game, but still a pretty good game overall. A
win is a win. And this game, you guys banned Gangplank on the blue side, something we don't see that often. Can you explain your reasoning behind it?
Well, it's no secret. Swiper just doesn't play GP, so yeah, that's literally it.
And the casters were a bit conflicted about the Caitlyn Morgana pick in the bot lane. Are you able to explain what it brings to your team's composition?
I think it's just something niche that we kind of practiced throughout the week, and we've had a lot of success on. It's also a really good tool to prevent Skarner from making picks. So yeah.
I'm excited to see how that bot lane goes. Thank you so much for talking to us, Fantix, and best of luck.
So it's pretty simple. Swiper just doesn't get to play Gangplank. I think it is that simple, but I also like hearing coaches have to say it as a big bind comes through and Dream goes very low. Ray's looking to contest this bus really heavily, forces Dream out. Over the wall is the next bind coming. Where is it?
Coming up fairly soon. Looking for it. Does not land. Luckily for Sin, Juice can actually complete his buff. If the bot lane of Chiefs could actually force him off and had to walk away, that's a lot of time expended, so you wouldn't just have a lead in the bot lane, you'd have it in the jungle as well, but he does actually get that one, but this is a big advantage.
Surely you cannot complete a recall here.
He's looking for it, no.
He's got a Doran shield, he's got fleet footwork. Should just be looking for pot shots onto the wave. He needs to stay in experience range. This is another one of those lanes that you're going to lose early.
Yep. If you get zoned from the lane as Ali, you just don't get back here.
Yeah.
Straight up, especially against the Morgana, who will at level 2 just level up that black shield. Ray's hitting that one, did get some solo XP on the wave before. Oh, doesn't quite hit the net. That means the Q does miss as well. The slow does not apply.
Yeah, but you can see Wave is pushing in. Dream will look to complete a recall here. How fast can the Chiefs bottom lane shove if this does go through? They've started it now, and he has completed it.
Yeah.
Kuden's not going to be able to hold this wave solo. Instead, he's going to get harassed out, and this is going to be so much loss.
Yeah, that's what it is. Experience going in the favor of Chiefs. 2 potions picked up as well as the Doran shield. Kuden trying his best to hold this one off the turret, but as both members of the Chiefs bottom lane actually stay, he won't be able to do a whole lot of anything. Traps coming up.
And cannon creep experience will be denied. So you can see right now, Kuden level 2. However, Dream is on 0 CS at 3 minutes into this game and steps on a trap. This is going all kinds of wrong. Still on 0. He's got 1.
There we go.
He's on the board.
1 versus 21. It's not a good another one. He's got to get another one. Combo does land. Actually, because Destiny leveled the W instead of the E, he thought they had enough of a lead. So Kuden does take that little window to get a combo down. Does burn a pot from the Morgana, but still in a bit of a hole is Sin's bottom lane.
Yeah, completely. And this is one of those lanes that's been skewed so far just because of a level 1 invade that came out. The Chiefs now just have priority all over this bottom lane.
Yeah, and the big thing is when that works, because how it happens is Babip starts on top side. You get the big Scion leash we were talking about, so he's absolutely fine. So your bot lane is free up to invade. Double range, also level 1 non-committal CC from the Morgana means that they can invade that one pretty safely, and if they can't get in, they just walk away. They don't lose a whole lot, actually.
That's a big combo coming up. Black Shield will just land, but Raze gets chunked.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Gonna have to burn his only potion. Doesn't have the shield, does have the blade, so will heal up slower overall. Destiny, nice use of the Black Shield. Doesn't get the combo, but barely gets the slap from the Alistar.
Yeah, now Swiper looking top lane, does manage to get the slow. Stun will follow. Teleport actually going to come in from Ryoma. Swiper, can he turn this one around? Juice will get knocked up. You can see the root will be there as well. Maybe should have flashed earlier.
Yeah.
Another game where they did not flash. They get made pay. Now Praetor has to burn his. Babif still goes in. Flash will follow. 2 kills picked up for the Chiefs.
And that's the big difference there. The decisive flashes coming out of the mid and jungle duo for the Chiefs. Juves does not use his early. He goes down, but they commit. They get 2 kills, winning across the board in almost every lane. Top and bot lane right now ahead for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and only really mid lane behind because of the fact that Teleport came out to the top lane as opposed to the mid. So still first blood picked up for Tommy, as well as the assist means that he is a massive amount ahead as well.
He is, so Babip clearing his top side out. Does mean he's going to be pathing towards the bottom lane. Sin still struggling right now. We'll see if Juves, he does hold his flash, right? So he didn't use it, so he went down immediately. But see if he can kind of get any pressure down the bottom lane, because they need help pushing out. They will get it right now because the base is going to come out from Raze and Destiny, but you have to think they're going to be sitting on a big purchase. BF coming out for the Caitlyn, upgraded Frostfang for the Morgana.
Yep.
So the push priority will only get better from here on out.
So nice little zoning field coming out right now. Means that Bedoink will be able to clear out majority of that wave. Actually didn't have to recall early, so got himself the ideal Hextech upgrade purchase.
He does, both junglers walking onto the bottom hand side of the map. A lot of pings going out. Juves potentially looking for something in Babip's jungle. Trying to get some wards. Places a pink in the dot bush. They're going to fight each other. Predator is popped. Looking for Ryoma. No flash.
He has flash, remember, over the wall. We'll get this done. See whether they can layer it with any form of CC. Base is dropped. Does Ryoma fall down? He is so tanky. Babip went in as well, and a double kill picked up for Bedoink.
And Destiny's looking for the trade, but can't quite find it. Juves, only level 5. Skarner doesn't even have access to the ulti yet. But because of those early flashes, they do punish. CC lands from Skarner. That means the W from Bedoink locks them down even further. And Babip, you have to question that one. He knew his mid laner was going to go down. He was trying to save him, but just gets turned on immediately and popped.
Yeah, every now and again, you just have to let people fall, unfortunately. See, now the Chiefs looking for potentially.
They have a ward.
If he walks on the wrong side of this blast plant, he dies.
Binding. Oh, lands,
he does
but...
I've seen so many times supports hug the wall to drop the ward into the river brush are gone, and 80 carries just hit the brass plant and pop them over.
Yep. Would have meant Kuden would have had to burn his flash, but no, makes the right play there. Chiefs looking for a cheeky little trade, and those are the small things that can accrue you. We've already seen level 1 invade, small thing, but that can get you a massive lead right now. 20 CS up already, only 7 minutes in, and they've chipped away at that turret. That's another thing. If they get that flash out of Kuden, that's a big expenditure from him that comes out of just a small play that they don't really have to waste anything for.
However, now there's a level 6 picked up for Skarner. They haven't necessarily got... That's the mind game. And whenever you get ulti, you want to walk behind someone to block it.
Put it on the
so
cow.
Ulti the support and see whether Dream will tank it for him. What else?
It probably makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Fleet footwork.
Yep.
He's sitting on full HP. Wouldn't have to burn a pot like Kuden, but he does.
What I was going to say is right now there's a potential that Juves just hits the nitrous oxide. And that's actually a very nice trade coming out. You can see, he's just out of turret range. If that was a little bit closer from Ryoma, he would have taken a couple of turret shots there.
That's a really nice trade out of Ryoma. He knows the ulti is not back off cooldown for the Victor, so can't really trade back despite having double buff.
Dream's in big trouble. Level 6 achieved first. They use the ultimate. Actually, no. Destiny isn't level 6.
Yeah.
So they just catch him on a trap and a bind and take him out.
A bind must have landed. Makes it very easy for Raze to chain that one with the W, with the Yordle Snap Trap. So they lock him down. Ignite comes through from Destiny. He just goes down. Healing is halved from that summoner spell. Praedyth looking for something, but just going to back away.
Yeah, potentially can chuck him into the wall with all those creeps there. No, does not look for it. And bottom lane turret will fall.
Do they get it here? Very low. They're just pushing that one up. Yes, Kuden has backed away. Juves on the top side of the map doing his red buff. Matched by Babip, but this 2v1 means that this turret will go down. Raze, does he get solo gold? No. Destiny walks back into range, so they split that one.
See right now, that's going to be the trap CC laid again. Will look to potentially chase down Kuden on the back end of this. Flashes forward, does not land it.
And we see it once again, that is the combo. Just makes it so easy to land that trap. And the big thing for Caitlyn. You can auto-attack things, but to be a great Caitlyn player, you have to be a trap Caitlyn. You have to put the traps behind. Once again, looking for the mid lane.
Yeah, you can see Ryoma actually goes back towards him. Will get stunned up, dragged back into that. Will burn the flash. However, Scion train coming in. Juves, now without his flash available, will fall down.
So they get the summoner, but priority in the top lane means that Scion gets here first. Praedyth doesn't even try to answer. No TP, so he can't face check the river.
Now they've got Scion in the 2v1 again.
Yeah.
It's not a bad place for the Scion to be honest, at this stage of the game.
And this is what you expect out of the bot lane for the Chiefs. Morgana, Caitlyn, once they take down that first turret, flip it topside. Ocean Drake, they don't care about. They just want to start sieging the turrets, chipping away, accruing a slight gold lead every time they get it. About 3,000 already in their back pocket.
And Caitlyn still gets outscaled, but doesn't get outscaled as hard as other champions against Tristana. Obviously has that range. Doesn't have the same attack speed steroid, but headshots are certainly useful in team fights. And Raze right now is just 1,700 gold ahead.
Not to mention a very late base coming out of Dream means Kuden's up here, but his 80 carries nowhere around. This is just dead straight up.
Yep. This turret will be falling down. You can see right now the Chiefs Esports Club already 3,500 gold up. Let's make it about 4 even at this stage of the game.
Yeah, but Bip is actually walking through the jungle, walked over the pink ward of Sin, so they know where he is. Kuden kind of floating down, looking for an opportunity to get onto the bug. You will see the ward there, but turret, as we mentioned, does go down. Chiefs look like they have control all over the map right now. Swiper has base, but does have TP if any sort of fight breaks out on the top side of the map right now.
Scion ultimate out of base. No, he hasn't got it. I was going to say, this is the old school Swiper. Charge it down mid lane kind of Scion ultimate. Try and break that last structure.
Yep.
It will be hard sieging into Victor because he's got a couple of evolutions of that Hex core.
I mean, Bedonk's sitting fine right now. He's the only one that isn't significantly behind. Obviously, Abyssal Mask is already completed on the likes of Ryoma, but...
Juice is okay. He's comparable.
Yep.
He's not
all he needs to be
great.
is tanky, and he's just an R button, straight up. They need Bedonk to be able to wave clear this wave. But Chiefs just look like they're setting up for the Rift Herald. You mentioned going to be hard to break this one down.
That will make it easier.
Yep, 100%. Just throw a big purple void monster at the turret. Goes down significantly earlier.
And 4,000 gold at 11 minutes is kind of how Caitlyn needs to excel. We said that the Chiefs need to be able to show some form of fast push. It is working so far.
Yep. But this is the point in the game where it can lull. They've taken the bot lane out. It's easy to get. They've taken the top lane out. Easy to get as well. The mid lane is the big thing. If Sin can actually stall the Rift Herald play, then that is the potential for the game to stall out. Tristana to start picking up items. Victor to start picking up items. But when you look at the bottom 3 teams in the OPL, Sin is not the one
that stalls.
They fight. We saw it last game. Tristana Azir. They could have just stalled it up. They didn't have to opt in, but they did.
Yeah,
so see if they can make the decisions this game.
When Juice finally retires, he will dine in Valhalla. He has died many times in battle and does not look to change his playstyle anytime soon.
He's been going hard. Predator and the Skarner. 2 successful ganks so far, but the last one did get turned around. Means he's 0-2 and 0 right now. Sitting on just that Cinder hold. But Bip is pretty significantly ahead in farm, about 4 or 5 camps up.
Yep.
But Chiefs look like they're not at all interested in the Ocean Drake, putting their bottom lane in the mid. That is the Rift Herald popped. Long before the wave's going to get here, Race is going to try and push it out. They're actually floating topside right now.
Going to try and protect their wave as much as possible. As Rift Herald makes his charge, will get smited. You see 3 members here.
Juice very close to getting locked in front of the turret. The trap behind him in that small choke, but nice play out of Chiefs. They're actually pushing in the topside whilst making his mid play.
Yeah, certainly up, flash forward. That will be onto Raze. Big headbutt pulverized, and in comes Praetor. However, Juice already dead, and they're just fighting without all their members. You can see, even though Kuda with the ultimate looking for him. He just doesn't get him. So close and yet so far. And Chiefs will just be able to break one turret and be able to take a hefty advantage. Dream now with 4 members chasing him will be able to jump away. However, does fall down on Ryoma. And Chiefs right now are just too far ahead.
And it's not just the kills going down on the Sin Gaming lineup that hurts so much. They expended so many resources. That's a Predator Skarner, so a 5-minute cooldown on that flash. That's really all they've got to start a fight there. Other than Kuden on the alley, Dream also burned both his summoners to try and take down Babip and get himself to safety. Praedyth once again burned his flash. So many summoners gone, so the turret goes down. They lose the kills, they lose the gold. But also the opportunity cost is there as well.
Yeah, and the game is just in such a position where the 1-3-1 comp out of the Chiefs looks great. The CC setup looks fantastic out of Morgana, Caitlyn. The siege is just going to come for days. And honestly, that was the one window.
Yep.
As shaky as it was, that maybe, just maybe, they could have pegged something back. They spent it, and now they've got a big hole to climb out
But I feel like the planning just wasn't there. Because Juves, that was decisive. Immediately, Ray steps too close. Morgana not in range for the Black Shield. He locks him down, and they try to pick him up with Bedoink. If they had Tristana there as well, maybe they can actually kill Raze in that CC. And that looks like a completely different fight. But Dream was walking down from the top lane, was so far away, couldn't actually influence the play. When the CC is landed onto the carries of Chiefs, they're already ahead. So they're trying to turn it into a 4v5, because that's a fight they can win. But it just wasn't premeditated. It wasn't planned. It was kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing. Yeah. So not all of the members from Sin are around.
So, unfortunately, as we go down the items, you're going to have an Infinity Edge picked up on Caitlyn versus, you know, not really all that much for Dream right now. You're going to have a couple of items coming through for Ryoma as well. Sure, Bedoink is still farming fine. There's going to be a lot of farm pushed into him. They're looking to catch out Juice.
Does land, no flash. Morgana ulti is available, but Destiny doesn't choose to use it there.
That was very interesting. Raze could have stepped forward, looked to trap the choke as well.
I feel like Juice couldn't have got out of that one if they actually committed the resources there, but they don't. Obviously, don't have a lot of vision yet. They're just setting that one up on the bot side. Top side could have walked down if they committed to a long play there, Juice. I mean, he's not the tankiest man. CC negation out of the Mercs, but they're looking for Praedyth right now.
Actually bringing a creep wave over as well, so they're going to look to the turret. Praedyth gets chain CC'd and dies.
And actually so close. Praedyth gets the double hop. off the Realm Warp minions that do walk in, but ulti and binding does land from Destiny, so this will just be another turret. 5-0 going into the favor of the Chiefs. They're looking at the inhib. Ali's top.
Swiper maybe getting taken down. Kuden flashes in front of him as Swiper wanted to run towards the base. They will be able to stun him up here, but this is just 2 tanks trying to take down the tankiest member of the Chiefs. Eventually, you feel like he's going to fall, but how long is it going to take him? What do they give up for it? Swiper still going. They're trampling all over him, and Big Swips goes down. Kuden just headbutts him away, but the Chiefs, they took a base turret for that.
Yeah, they absolutely did. They did not get the inhib. Nah, Tristana and Victor were around, so they don't want to commit any extra resources down there.
Raze actually might have been called out of here. The base is dropped. We'll have to burn the heal to run away. Heal for ulti at this stage of the game, but Doink will take the trade.
Yep, absolutely will. Unfortunately for him, can't continue. Nice trap out of Raze means he gets himself to safety, but as you mentioned, he'll burn.
I mean, he maybe could have continued. He had flash available if he thought no one was there. I mean, what do you got to lose at the moment?
He did the Victor thing. Victor's stutter step. They try-cast their Q, like walk back and forward a little bit. They kind of like Q auto and then like E fade away. And he did that, and that meant he... Because the traps have a setup time, right? There's about 0.25 or something like that. When they're immediately placed, they're not actually active.
They're not armed.
If it's placed underneath you and you're walking off it immediately, you don't actually get CC'd, but Budoin kind of walks back and forward a little bit, so he does get CC'd there, can't continue.
That would be so broken if she could just drop it under you.
Yeah, immediately.
I would hate to play against her.
I feel like she would just be like actually just straight up insanely broke. She would be like first pick ban, because you can push in every lane, complete safety. If anyone tries to walk at you, you just trap them immediately.
Imagine if you could trap off a trap.
Yeah.
Just hold them there for 5 seconds.
You kind of can to some extent. You like trap someone down if they don't have mercs. You kind of set them up like right behind, like left and right, so they kind of have to walk forwards into you. And meanwhile, you're just hitting them the entire time. We saw Raze do that when they dove earlier. So you kind of like funnel them. The CC lands, and then you kind of funnel them where you want them to go.
Corral. I like it. As right now, you can see Babip massively ahead. Across the rest of the board. Everyone else, really, it's just the mid lane that is anywhere near. You've got a Zeal as well as a Kersh's Shard. Plus Pickaxe.
When you have the Shard.
2 completed items. That is a feels bad man.
You have a Shard, you know you're in a rough spot. That's a poo item.
It is.
It's just a poo. It doesn't do anything. Sure, it gives you like a little bit of stats, but who really cares there? That's just a rough one. In the top lane, Swiper has gone for the Righteous Glory, but Juice is looking for an opportunity right now. And this is what they have to do, Sin. For the most part, they're looking for the opportunity whilst this is set up for Chiefs, and once it is set up, it's very hard for them to actually defend under the turret.
But Doink is going for the Rookie build, so really all he needs is level 16 right now. This is a build that Rookie used to go and just hug this wall here, and if an 80 carry ran in through the choke, he would drop like 4 spells over the wall, and then just like leave, because that would die to the ultimate. See whether he's able to keep pace, because still not much magic resistance picked up for Babip or Raze, so he can make the fighter legitimately 5v4 if he lands it properly.
Do they get on this wave? You have to think Chiefs. Setting up on the top side means they're not actually looking to commit onto the in-here.
And he dies. There we go. He picked him up, but at the same time, Victor just deletes him, and it doesn't get any easier. Victor scales very well into the late game. They will be able to defend here. Top lane also looks like it's going to be defended, and Praetor's looking to take a bottom lane turret.
But I feel like Praetor might just have to base here. Sure, he can match the turrets, but this is 4-on-4 with a significant disadvantage for the Chiefs here, actually. 4 members versus the 3.
Big damage coming down, and they just fall. Kuden has to burn his ultimate. Trap off as well. Kuden will go down eventually. Double kill for Raze, and he said he should have recalled. Well, now it's too late, as the base is in shambles and people are dead.
There's either 2 decisions you make. You just don't fight in the top lane, and you're like, look, we're going to get some gold down bot. We can clear out the wave safely, but obviously that was not the case. The engage came out of the Chiefs, so they don't even get the turret down bot. They also lose the fight topside, and we see this once more, but Bip looking to get onto Badoink. Gets him incredibly low, and does just commit under the turret. The last turret shot, Cleanse coming out, goes down.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, that was well played from Babip to get the summoner spells out.
Yep.
And I feel like that's where jungle is get a bit hyphy. Because the chunk is achieved. He's going back to base. Your job is to break the base at that point. I feel like going under there and getting the kills is a little bit of style points. Has to burn the summoner spell for it, which means in a 5v5 team fight, which is the only way Chiefs really lose. They set up this game, play it slowly. They never fight. They just take turrets.
Yep. Play the PvE.
But gives a window for potentially Badoink to be able to take him out.
Especially against something like the Skarner, not having that flash available. He's just definitely a big target. No real QSS is actually picked up by any of the carries. We're only 2 items, 20 minutes into the game, but Ray's not opting for that one. Obviously, relying on the safety of the Black Shield coming out from Destiny. He's played the Morgana pretty well. They're looking for Ryoma, though.
Yeah, but he's right next to Destiny, so they just will back away from that one. And see, Juice is pretty quick going for Righteous Glory right now. Funnily enough, I don't think they should do Baron here, because you can't smite through suppression.
Yep.
So if Juice gets into the pit and just grabs Babip, he actually doesn't even have to win a smite fight.
It's not a fight.
It's not a fight if the other person can't do anything.
Yep. 1v0 versus the Baron.
So they should just continue to push in. That's what their comp does. It just sets up so incredibly well. Baron is a wild card right now that you do not... You've already seen they don't need Baron to break the base.
No,
so
they've already broken the base. They haven't taken an inhib, but they've broken down bot side. So I feel like it's slightly peculiar if they're not opting in for the Baron play for them to be setting up on top side, because they have an open inhib down bot. This Ocean Drake has also just been sitting on the map for 21 minutes. Nobody has touched it. They set up around bot side. They kind of get that one for free.
Looks like they're looking for a pick, which is just so strange, because if they stay in lanes, they win, I feel. They have jumped into Baron. They're looking to get mid lane control. I think they actually want the Baron buff.
Yeah, they do.
Praedyth is now getting pretty far ahead of Swiper. He's a level up. He's got himself an extra 20 CS. He's about to take himself a turret. Swiper hasn't farmed at all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I was on Swiper's team in 2017, and one of the biggest problems he had was actually grouping when he shouldn't. He is falling further and further behind in this split. If this Baron play messes up, which they it kind of fizzled now, they're looking for the engage onto
Dream's being rooted. We'll have to push him away, but Black Shield means that he will fall down. Choke point is ulted up, however, and all of a sudden they're on top of the most fed member. Ryoma falls down. Swiper comes in. Ray's looking to take down Kuden. That's a 1-for-1. However, bottom lane turret fell. Sin actually won out on that trade.
Yeah.
Can they now get back towards Baron in time, or does that fall?
And that's the thing. Can Chiefs actually pull the trigger on this one? Swiper is incredibly tanky, so he can tank this one up for days, but Juice is posturing over. You mentioned the suppression fight means he can't smite, but no ulti available for the
flash
Scorpion.
to get in.
Binding.
I mean, he just cannot get over there. Babip goes.
Dead.
Trap off. Very nicely played by the Chiefs Esports Club there. However, not much damage in the pit with Babip not there, so the slow play is coming out. They will get this eventually.
Yep, eventually both carries of the Sin Gaming lineup won't make it in time.
Oh, he stepped on a trap. Oh.
Barely gets away from that one. But just to finish my point, Swiper had TP that entire time. Obviously, he's the one that needs to be there to tank up the Baron, but if they're just going to look for a pick anyway, he can be matching bot and they don't lose that turret. Yep. But of course, he provides the extra safety when they do set up that play, just chooses to commit, kind of sacks himself for the team there. 30 CS down in a matchup he was winning earlier, so...
And this is where you got to be critical, because Chiefs are in the driver's seat to win this game.
Yep.
However, at the same time, Sin has only beaten one bottom 3 team and really should not be in a position to challenge it. So it's about how Chiefs close out as opposed to someone like Direwolf, someone like Legacy or Order, and where you can kind of stack rank them, because they played Direwolves week 1. We won't see them play them again until Gauntlet if they meet, and it was without Raze. It was without Shurnfire. They lost the game. Does that really mean anything? Probably not, to be honest.
Yep.
We have yet to see them play Order. We've seen them beat Avant twice, convincing fashion.
Yep.
We saw them beat Legacy, pretty convincing fashion, and they play again next week. But really, as there's such a big disparity between, I think, the top 3 or 4 teams and the bottom 3 or 4 teams, it just is hard to kind of gauge the relative strength at the moment within the OPL, and that goes for everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely here, but we see they are trying to break the base. 5 members, once again, just completely grouping up in the mid lane, looking for this turret.
This makes sense. Now they've got the tank. They're protecting the creep wave. They've got Baron. Juves is looking for it, tries to force them away. However, has to get the heck out of dodge there. You can see this is one creep wave, and it's nearly gone down.
But I feel like that was their window. Juves used both. The Glory, actually, will he just go down?
Actually,
he does.
Die.
He used Glory and Predator, both of them on cooldown. Means he doesn't have an extra ability to get on. 1 and 6 right now, looking for the play. Kuden has Flash, so there's potential for an engage coming up, but I feel like at this point, 4v5, they're just going to have to give up this mid inhib.
Yeah, but how much can they give up? Ryoma's already in the top lane. That hit, and all of a sudden they're heading to the hills. That's the second base turret. Broken. Third one is on the way. This is going to be at least triple inhibitor. And the Chiefs, I don't think, will leave the base. I think they're just going to stay here until the game's over.
And that's the 2 hardest inhibs to get. The bottom one was still open, but they're opting for that one last. Juice will be available to fight but can they actually hold under the Nexus? Their Realm Orb
Oh, big headbutt pulverize
Big.
into a very nice combo. Means that they're falling down relatively quickly. Destiny on the back end will use that stopwatch finally. Dream hops out. That's another kill over for Bedoink, but you can just see Ray sitting there chipping away at them. Will flash out of that, and he's just too big. In the end, it will be the Chiefs Esports Club chasing members back. A triple kill for Ryoma, but that fight was close.
It looked good for Sin, but Raze plays that fight almost perfectly, buffering the CC on the Victor W, flashing over, taking on both carries of Sin at once, and that's the big thing. The carries of Chiefs were untouched. Ryoma didn't even need to use his flash to get out of that one, so got CC'd up on the engage, but Swiper locks down Dream, forces him to dash out, and they do get, in the end, all 3 inhibs.
Yeah, exactly right. However, they won't end the game, so if I'm a glass half full kind of guy, which I am this week, you get a lot of farm for about the next 2 minutes.
Yep. And this is the big thing. We see it once again. Nice play out of Kuden, cancelling the Realm Orb. They're just kind of walking away, trying to get out in his face. And that's a huge combo. Raze, QSS nets himself to safety, and the Black Shield goes on. And that's with an Ardent Sensor as well, so he's completely fine. Destiny CCs them in conjunction with the Scion. But both the carries, Ryoma on the bot side, no ulti available for Juice. This flash out of Raze gets him out of the CC. Basically 1v3 taking on all of the members of Sin. They just clean up.
Yeah, exactly right. If that CC lands, there's a chance that Raze falls down within it. However, Dream now caught out in a side lane, falls down. And that, honestly, just might be game.
Yeah, potentially there. Dream, the only member, actually. Lights have gone out in our studio. Lights have gone out in the studio of the players.
I feel like that's a legitimate reason to pause.
I mean, I've never had the lights go out on me. When I was playing a game of League of Legends, they're just sitting there like, what the hell? What's going on?
I was like, what the hell? What's going on? It was getting real like romantic in here for a second. The lights are going down.
Real romantic when the bug is just eating up a yordle. That's
all right.
Is that your idea of a dinner date?
Yeah, it doesn't sound the worst. I like League of Legends.
Yeah. I feel like insects eating your friends. It's not my ideal date, but interesting stuff coming out of here. But you did mention Chiefs commanding lead right now, 15,000 gold lead. Dream going down for 40 seconds. They have all 3 inhibs available, so when this game does unpause, when we get back into it, Chiefs should be able to end this one fairly cleanly from here on out.
Yeah, they certainly should be able to. You can see 605 for Raze. He's got himself a completed build. Really only needs that Merc Scimitar. Same can be said right now for Ryoma. The carries are just huge. Same time, Bedoink has had a very good game on the Victor.
He has. We've seen actually a few Victors now, and he's kind of like on the fringe of the meta, but when it has been picked,
looked all right.
It has looked all right. A lot of mid-bands kind of have to hit the deck before this is picked up at all, but
I'd be interested to see how it goes next patch. You know, with Luden's Echo
Yep.
now having 20% cooldown reduction, it was always one of those fringe items for him. He liked it for the movement speed, though, to be honest, and now no longer available. See whether he picks something like that up.
Wonder if we still see the Frozen Fist build out of the Victors and things like that. Fleet footwork with the Mage update, with all those changes on the item. See if they actually switch that one up.
And this series has been rough for Sin, because Sin would pride themselves on being a chaotic team that can really, you know, take it to teams if they play fast-paced. But the Chiefs have just looked better at that fast-paced game style. So it kind of leaves Sin with no calling card.
Yep.
I feel like this is the second time it's really happened to them. They fought Fire with Fire versus Order, lost. They're fighting Fire with Fire here against Chiefs. They've lost. And I don't think there's really all that much you can take away from these games if that's the case.
And that's the thing. It is incredibly hard. You mentioned they did look fine against Order early, and I feel like, especially in Game 1 as well, Game 2 not so much. They didn't really have a window at all in this one versus the Chiefs. But Game 1, they were fine early. About 10 minutes they lasted. The chaotic fights, they were matching time and time again. But the small leads taken by the top of the table, top of the ladder teams, Order and Chiefs, when they face up against each other, it's hard. And I mean, you mentioned Legacy and Direwolves really are the only big, like, macro-heavy style teams in the league.
For sure now.
So that means 6 other teams in the league play a similar style to Sin. Obviously, 2 of those will be down the bottom of the ladder we've seen so far.
Bombers and Tectonic are the slow teams. I don't really, I can't call them macro or fight because
they kind of don't do a whole lot of anything, to be honest.
At certain times, I don't know what they're really looking to achieve in their games, apart from stall and look for one team fight. And what we mean when we determine teams like, you know, macro teams or fight heavy teams, is how you want to get your lead. Do you want to get your lead by putting 10 people on a screen and actually going toe-to-toe, pressing buttons, trying to out micro? Or do you want to set up the map, look for slow pushes, take away the 1% and 2% objectives, and then therefore, you know, farm better, get more turrets, be stronger, still fight in the late game, because eventually the other team is going to try and fight you. But do it from a commanding position. I think Direwolves Legacy, they certainly want to have advantages when they fight. I think Chiefs, Order, Sin, don't really care if they have an advantage or not.
And we're not really in the biggest 1-3-1 meta, but I feel like that's where you kind of see these stylistic differences show the most. When you look at Direwolves play a 1-3-1, if one of the lanes get ganked, they don't rotate. They don't try and save chippies in a side lane. They just push the other two in and try and crack the base. Whereas a team like Chiefs, maybe, if they're playing the 1-3-1, as soon as somebody gets ganked in the side lane, they're like, boys, like, the Armored Titan's hurt.
Yeah, get in the portal.
Help me, get him the hell out of there. And so they all rotate over, look for the 5v5, and you kind of feel like that's
or it's even how you attack a 1-3-1. We saw that in yesterday, 1-4, Legacy were willing to match their 1 with the 1.
Yep.
And the 4 with the 4. Whereas when we saw Direwolves play Order, Tally left the Jack split push 3 turrets and win a game, while he tried to win the team fight.
Yep.
So I think that's when the stark differences really start coming out, when, you know, things like Maokai are picked into Jax, or Sion this game picked into a Gnar, because they certainly want to do different things.
It just becomes very obvious when you're, from the get-go, from Champs, like when you're picking things like Maokai into the Jax, you have that game plan and everybody knows what you're going to do. It's just based on execution. It's obviously very hard, especially in a 1-4 versus a 1-3-1.
And that's where you credit Direwolves a lot.
Yep.
I mean, that's where you, like, Legacy was so close, but so far yesterday. Because in those situations, it is very hard for your 4 to control while the 1 wins the game. Because at a certain point, you're like, I want to do something too. And sometimes that means that you die and you give over Baron. Then you make it hard for chippies. But Direwolves never make that mistake. Direwolves always play within themselves.
And also you can kind of see it not just from the players, but also like Sharp in his coach interviews. He just tells people, like Laura asks him a question and he doesn't hide anything. He just tells you, oh, this is what this pick does. This is exactly what we're trying to do. And they don't try and hide things. Even if their game plan is obvious, they're just so successful at setting it up time and time again.
That's why it always makes me laugh when people are like, yeah, we know how Direwolves draft. It's like, yeah.
But can you beat them?
No shit. Like, everyone's known how they draft for a year and a half now. Yet no one can seem to take games off them consistently. They will drop games every now and again.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's not like they play the 70-30 game style, where every now and again they'll lose a game. But in a best of 5, if you play in a 70-30, you'll win the best of 5 every single time.
But we're back into game. We have unpaused. We got to see the countdown. You don't see that much on the broadcast. Normally we're looking at us, but we have to get to see that one count down. Recall coming out of Badoink in the top lane. They're going to desperately try and defend this one. All inhibs down. Yeah,
exactly right. They're trying to get all of the waves in at the same time. Mid and bot will crash nearly simultaneously. Top lane is on its way. Victor's good at stalling, but he's already been chunked out. This game looks like it is a foregone conclusion. It's just when will Sin fight. 3 seconds left on their 80 carry. You expect it to be in a second. Binding lands. Kratos in. Jubes goes onto the tank. However, Dream, you can't jump further back into your fountain, but it feels like you need to. The Armored Titan will go down. Kuden gets trapped. Will also fall. And you can see right now that Raze is just frontlining with a shield and doing so much damn damage. In goes Praetor. Knocks Raze back. QSS is too early and he will die. However, Ryoma now looking to take over the back end of the team fight. Takes down everyone. Will march forward. Super creeps on the base. Dream flashes forward. Maybe Babib gone a little bit too deep. But the creeps will just do the jobs for them. The Chiefs in 28 minutes will take game 2.
The super creep was trying to hit the Nexus, but he was just spazzing out there. Could not quite get it. Chiefs, honestly, I looked like Sim were about to hold that one. Raze goes way too far forward, trying to pad his KDA. Ryoma sitting at the back, trying to hit the Nexus, but obviously on the rise was not enough. Looked close, potentially, but...
OPL players need to be banned from best.gg.
Yep, I agree.
It's given all the general managers heart attacks.
Yep, I agree.
Best.gg is not a force for good at the moment. It is a force for evil. PP score is killing me.
But absolutely.
Chiefs, commanding fashion. 26 minutes, 28 minutes. Able to pick up back-to-back wins, grab themselves 3 points, put themselves within a point of order and equal with Direwolves, although behind head-to-head, and make that top 3 race incredibly interesting.
And not to mention, they do it today in 2 drastically different styles. Game 1, just Fido. They match Sin with exactly how Sin like to play, and they come out ahead. Game 2, they play more defensive, fast push Morgana. They did get the Janna banned away. That's normally the one you see. Caitlyn Janna is the big fast push lane, but they have that extra pick in the Morgana. They played successfully. This is the first successful Morgana game I think we've seen in the OPL.
For sure.
We've seen Rosie play it. We've seen Jake play it. Now we've seen Destiny play it as well and look like the best.
Yeah. Absolutely agree, and I think that there were a couple of ultimates that we saw the usefulness of Morgana as opposed to Janna, because Janna resets a team fight, Morgana ultimate continues the team fight, and when you get one free ultimate with the stopwatch that is now in the game, it looked very good in the top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't even have to invest into the zone use. You can just walk back there, reset that one with the stopwatch, and it was pretty interesting to see how that game progressed because it all came down, honestly. The start of the Snowball for Chiefs started literally level 1 minute 30, with that early invade, Kate Morgana onto the blue buff of Juice.
Yeah, and that's cute. I mean, the contest that came out, the ability to use Scion as the leash and not lose all that much tempo in the jungle position. There's little nuances coming into the game as this patch progressed. Obviously, this is the second last best of 3 we'll see on it. Now we'll go to 8.4 next week after the next game. But this has been, honestly, a good patch to play on. I feel like if this patch had continued, I wouldn't have been all that mad about it.
I feel like it's gone. I also just really like level 1 stuff. We've seen Tectonic get a very successful level 1 invade off AV, I think. We see them play later today, but I feel like level 1 fights are real cool because a lot of players don't actually experience them. I used to, when I was playing solo, could just spam ping invade every single game because level 1 fights, everyone's got one ability, and if you mess that one up, then it can be disastrous. We saw there. Chiefs, obviously, with that premeditated strategy going in and was just grossly successful.
Yeah, it certainly was. So we'll actually get to chat to the person who probably led that level 1 charge. Let's throw it over to Laura, who's with Charlie Wraith, as well as Destiny support of the Chiefs.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, we are joined by Destiny, the support who always wears a big smile on his face. Congratulations on the win. How does it feel taking a 2-0 over Sin today?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Moving up the ladder now, so we're tied with Direwolves. So tied for second is pretty good, but I want that first spot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask what is the next step for you guys? Like, you have 5 solid players at the moment. We're pretty early in the season, and you're already starting to show, like, a lot of cohesiveness. But where do you go from here? Like, what's going to take you to that next level?
Yeah, I feel like right now we're sort of one-dimensional in a way that our bot lane, right now, me and Raze are just constantly, like, aggressive, like, Kalista, Alistar, Zyra Khan. Like, if you give us these bot lanes, we're going to kill you, or we'll gain, like, a CS advantage. So I think over the next few weeks, we're going to turn into like a carry top. We've seen Swiper on the Camille. If we can build up his confidence, it is good, like behind the scenes, but on stage he's a bit rusty. But I feel like over the next weeks, if we work on that, we'll become a complete team.
Sounds good. What about your preparation? Like, what does it look like going into games like this? Do you tailor it more towards your opponents week by week, or how do you balance like playing to your strengths versus maybe your opponent's weaknesses?
I think it's a bit of a mix. For instance, with Sin, like they're very aggressive, so if we knew we just picked winning lanes, they wouldn't get to that team fighting stage.
Yep.
So the level 1 Cheese sort of made their bot lane like pretty much useless that game. Like they couldn't walk up, they couldn't pressure.
0 CS for a long time.
Yeah, like he had a bad time in that bot lane. So if we never gave them that team fight opportunity, we'd just do our thing, and yeah, we pretty much won nearly all our lanes, which was good.
Yeah. Last question, just regarding the Morgana. So you're the 3rd guy to play it now, the first one to win a game with it. What do you see as its strengths at the moment?
I feel like Morgana is a counterpick to like Alistar, Braum, maybe Tarm in a way because he can't eat you and play aggressive. You can just wait up, get your Ardent Sensor. You can poke them down with a Q. You can go Scorch, so you can poke them down in lane. I feel like OPL teams, they need to realize when they pick Morgana, you want an AD carry or like a mid laner, or even we had everyone that could help me out. Like I had a Sion who could knock up, I had a Caitlyn who could trap, and I had good old Tommy on the rise who could snare for me. So I feel like you need to build a team comp around the Morgana. We had this pre-planned before we came into the game, and yeah, it worked out really well.
Do you agree with that, Charlie? Because you've picked Morgana recently for Jake as well on your team. What do you think about her in the meta at the moment?
Yeah, I definitely think she can enable a lot of CC and a lot of early plays, but like historically, she can also just be used as a nullifier. Like you can play her versus Braum to like stop the aggression. You can play it versus stuff like Skarner as well. So she's multifaceted like that. Destiny, you've been streaming a lot recently too, I've seen on your social media. How have you been enjoying it?
Yeah, streaming's good. I like streaming. Doss has sort of inspired me because like he's like the big O streamer. So when I see him stream, I'm like, damn, I want to stream now. So yeah, I've been doing it a lot more recently, and yeah, streaming's good fun. If you need any help with support picks or just meta in general, then come chill out with the gorilla.
Next week, you'll be having a rematch against Legacy. You were able to beat them last time, but they put up a really good showing against the Direwolves yesterday. What are your thoughts and feelings heading towards that match?
Yeah, Legacy yesterday did look really strong, so I feel like we'll definitely prepare well over the next week. We did take them out 2-1 last time, but we're going to go for the 2-0. We need the points as much as possible. And yeah, I feel like Decoy and Raid had very good showings yesterday, so we'll definitely prepare well for them.
I like the confidence, Destiny. Congratulations once again on today's win. We'll be back with our second series of the day shortly, but earlier this week, a bunch of our OPL pros got together to give you some advice on how to keep a healthy headspace. That'll be coming up right after these game highlights.
See whether they can layer it with any form of CC. Base is dropped. Does Ryoma fall down? He is so tanky. Babip went in as well, and a double kill picked up for Bedoy. Certainly up flash forward. That will be onto Raze. Big headbutt pulverized, and in comes Kratos. However, Ju's already dead. Big damage coming down, and they just fall. Kuden has to burn his ultimate. Trap off as well. Kuden will go down eventually. Double kill for Raze. Choke point is ulted up, however, and all of a sudden they're on top of the most fed member. Ryoma falls down. Swiper comes in. Raze looking to take down Kuden. That's a 1-for-1. Oh, big headbutt pulverized into a very nice combo. Means that they're falling down relatively quickly. Destiny on the back end will use that stopwatch finally. Dream hops out. That's another kill over for Bedoin, but you can just see Raze sitting there chipping away at them. Will flash out of that, and he's just too big. In the end, it will be the Chiefs Esports Club chasing members back. Super creeps on the base. Dream flashes forward. Maybe Babib gone a little bit too deep, but the creeps will just do the jobs for them. The Chiefs in 28 minutes will take game 2.
What do I start from? Just let them know, or do I have to start again?
I might just try read it through first before I like say it. Yeah, cool. All right.
All right. Looking after yourself can be hard.
It might sound obvious, but these tips for a healthy headspace
Can really make a difference.
First off, get enough sleep.
Not only is sleep good for your brain and body,
It keeps you energized and focused.
eat healthy food.
fruit, veg, and plenty of water can actually improve your mood.
Connect with people.
Being around others is an essential part of life.
So catch up with family and friends when you can. And just so you know,
Pets definitely count as friends.
Get into life. Do the things that you love and the things that are important to you.
This helps you make meaning out of life and find your purpose.
Exercise and stay active.
Keeping fit helps you sleep better, manage your stress levels, and even boost your mood.
Learn new ways to handle tough times.
Read a book, listen to music.
find an online course.
There are a lot of ways to find a way through.
Cut back on the alcohol and drugs.
Although it might feel like they help in the short term, drugs and alcohol can make you feel worse in the long run.
Making it harder to keep a healthy headspace.
Lastly, if you're going through a tough time,
It's okay to talk to someone.
For more information, you can head to headspace.org.au.